everyone, and welcome to this unboxing video for Arkham Horror, the card game. Not Arkham, Arkham. See, the B's not just thrown on there. That's a dog person, not just, a person with a dog head put on them. Also, it's the Meddling of Meowlathotep. So, for those that don't know, a few years ago, I think maybe 2 years ago, so 2.5 by now, there was an April Fool's joke that, because FFG, Fantasy Flight Games, does that kind of thing, where it was Arkham Horror. It was so popular as an idea, they did a limited print run of it, and here it is. It's Arkham Horror. It's Arkham Horror the card game, but you're playing dog investigators, including Duke, with Ashcan Pete just labeled as friendly human. Functioning the same way, in fact. Or practically the same way. But most of the others are dog parodies of other things existing. There's a lot of dog and cat jokes in here. I'm not really a big fan of the fact that the cats are blatantly made the enemy, but I'm still okay with the whole thing in general. It's adorable and hilarious. So this is a standalone scenario with player cards that I'm not sure if they are usable in the regular game. I know most of them, if not all of them, are only usable with the Arkham investigators. Whether or not they can only be used in this scenario is a different story. I also know that you need more than just those cards to be able to build a deck, because this is mostly scenario cards. But we've got a rulebook with the set icon. Like, this is a serious scenario mechanics-wise and everything. It's a joke, like, in terms of everything. Like, I'll read off some of the cards that I know of. But yeah, like, not a cat's chance in hell is the opening to it. And it specifically says on the second page, these investigators can only be used here and should be the only ones you use in it. Other cards can be used in these, like I said earlier, but yeah, these are meant for this and this alone. Not to say you can't do what you want with your own game components. There are additional rules. There's the repeat of alert, lousy with cats, in air quotes, sniffing, in air quotes, locations, and that's it. There are multiple different intros. It looks like it's meant to just be one scenario. The resolutions are 1 page in total, including resolution 1 and 2. In fact, resolution 2 is just a few sentences, which I'm not even going to read out loud for spoilers' sakes, but it's definitely, they are playing heavily into this, as it's followed by a few spaces and ... I'll see myself out. The usual comment when you make a really bad pun joke. But then it has the actual mechanical what happens. So, it has its own player cards and everything, like investigator small cards. Duke is literally just dog. He's not human with dog head. I have no idea what the enemies look like. I will be showing off the art for these ones, unlike most of my unboxing videos. If people would like me to do a detailed overview mechanically of this, please ask. I am more than willing. And I would show off all the art there as well. Get the second one open real quick, so that I don't have to stop too much in the middle of it. But yeah, I'm going to be reading off a lot of the names. Not many in the mechanics, though. But, just to make it clear, counting the investigator cards themselves, this is how many player cards come in. So, about a third of it. But we've got Bark Harrington, who is one of the other investigators with a dog head, very clearly. Most of these are. And his cattling gun as his signature asset, but a signature weakness of more bark than bite. Then we have Kate Winthrop, which is Kate Winthrop with a dog on her head. She has the ability to sniff and lower the difficulty of skill tests there. This is one of the dog-based things that I specifically wanted to point out. Her deck building options are secret cards 0 through 5, neutral cards 0 through 5, and up to 5 level 0 cards that would look like they smell weird. She's got the feline discombobulator, which is the flux capacitor, basically, and foul odors as a weakness. Then we have Schizodrool instead of Schizotool, who can spend resources to move extra times instead of extra actions. And its extra little deck building thing, the first one didn't have one by the way, is up to 5 level 0 cards that move you. And by move, we mean physically, not emotionally. His signature card is Take the Wheel. And there are cats driving that car in the back. And dog catchers as an enemy weakness. Then we have a Jacqueline Canine, the Paw Reader, who I believe the human version just came out, and is the starting investigator deck for Mystics. She can bury and dig up cards, and her little bonus thing is level 0 through 5 cards that are cats or have cats in their artwork. Blasphemy! Chew Toy of Nightmares, a very clearly arcane-infused tennis ball, is her signature card, and her signature weakness is no sense of time or space. And then, as I said earlier, we have Duke. Duke begins the game with a friendly human in play. 2 actions. You beg for more treats. Place 3 treats on friendly human. And then he actually has the 4 fight and 4 intellect that you would get as tests with Ashcan Pete. And it's very clearly Ashcan Pete, using artwork from usually the Arkham horror games. For Duke, it's himself. Starts with 5 treats. After you succeed a skill test, spend 1 treat. Good boy. Either choose 1, heal damage or horror, draw a card, or gain a resource. So, very standard stuff, but every single time you succeed at a skill test. Because there's no exhaust, you just definitely don't run out of stuff. And his signature weakness is out of doggy treats, which is just a torn open, all the treats are falling out, like as if the bag got lost. And it's literally just lose all the treats on friendly human. Then we get into some regular player cards. Again, these are not intended to be used in the things. But we've got, in fact, all of them say Arkham horror decks only. So, for Guardians, we've got a accessory of Spiked Collar. And it's basically the ability on Dog. Except, arguably, you can have Dog, have Relic Hunter, and Charisma, and when you take damage, at least 3 damage, because 1 for each dog, you deal 4! Dog Monocle. It is effectively magnifying glass. Costs 1 more, isn't fast. You still get the +1 intelligence when investigating, but you also get +1 skill value during a parlay action. And I quote, because, honestly, look at you. Memes haven't been invented yet, is the quote right on it. Often worn by guard dogs, is on this one. I guess they each have a quote, is my point. And yes, they do. Then we have hired dogs, making reference to the, hired thugs and such for rogues. And yes, it is effectively a ally that is either fight or investigate at a strength or a intelligence of 4, and you must either pay 1 to keep it. So it's just like the other hired characters, but combined. Although I have a question, because that's a humanoid dog with non-humanoid dogs, and I know Duke exists, but that was more like Duke was already a dog, why make him humanoid? What's the hierarchy of species in this setting? I need more. Also, please do more print runs of this for people who haven't been able to get a hold of it. And then for Mystics, we have an event of Howl of Clifford. Oh, also, before I continue, the quote was, "Is it weird for a dog to hire another dog?" I was just saying that. Or something along those lines. And it's basically a massive aid. Costs 5. It's basically a Mystic version of the Survivor card, except you use Will instead. Also, it says instead of Strength, so weird. While not strictly an ancient one, Clifford, and it's CLYHF''FORD, is most definitely a kaiju. Probably more so making a reference to Cthulhu, who isn't actually an older one, or an ancient one. He is the high priest of them. And then Old Shoes, which just makes me think of running shoes. In fact, I wonder if it's the same image. Although it gives you a health 2 buffer. It doesn't take up a slot either. Doesn't even list it as a shoe. I don't think we've gotten a second one of those yet. Deal 1 damage to Old Shoe. Kill the horror. And its quote was, "It's like a chew toy, but smellier." So you can clearly include this in the Seeker. And then for a skill card with 4 wild icons and some text here, Hair of the Dog, which is a Sour Mash. And is clearly just the Sour Mash image. Max 1 committed per skill test. After the skill test ends, the investigator performing this skill test gets a -2 skill value for their next skill test they perform this round. So if it's the last one, though, you're fine. Go home, dog. You are drunk. So that was all the player cards. I'm not going to read off all the stuff from the encounter cards, but I'm going to point out like puns, names, imagery, stuff like that. So again, it's called Meddling of Meowlathotep. So there's the standard card. We've got 2 agendas with an image of a cat leaning against a tentacle on a ball, and, well, more tentacles casting a shadow, and 2 acts with a 7-pointed, well, star, and a bunch of tennis balls. We've got a bunch of locations. We got 10 locations: Beast Town, Tailside, Snoutside, Slobbertown, Barkham Asylum, Boneyard, Mutt Skatonic University, Barkham City Pound, St. Mary's Animal Hospital, and Velma's Doghouse. It's the same images, I think, from Midnight Mask, except there's 10 of these. Like, they're reused images. Oh boy, yeah, they're just hammering on the references. So, Meowlathotep is actually here, and it is the same image for Nyarlathotep, but with a cat head on its hand. The Hisser in the Dark, being the, I can't even remember what it is, from the museum scenario. I literally just played it not that long ago, like this past weekend. The Cat of Titus, the Dweller in the Deep, that one's definitely reused, the Meowling Hunger, Ghost Cat, which is almost the same exact image from the Circle and Done monster, which is called something different. Cat riding on a Cat. It's exactly what it sounds like, is what it says. Oh, also, did any of these have titles? Yes. Meowlathotep is Meowsinger of the Outer Gods. The Hisser in the Dark is the cat that came back. Extra dimensional cat on Cat of Titleist. I didn't show that one, by the way, because there's nothing to compare it to. Dweller in the Deep is Don't Ask How. Spacious Twins for the Meowling Hungers. The cat is also a ghost for a ghost cat. And it is, I want to point out, Byakat. Byakat. I'm not even reading the mechanics on these. Pouncer in the Night. Nocturnal Hunting Cat. Uses the Mists of Rayleigh with a cat face. Strange Cat, which are normal enemies. It's literally the stray cat image. Rodent Killer. We've got 2 of those. I don't remember what cultist that is, but that's just a cultist with a cat face. The standard cultist for Order Cultists with a cat. Also has paws and everything. Servant of Dog Salt, which uses one of the monstrosities from Return to Dunwich. And then we've got some treacheries. Squirrel! Hunted by Biox. On Your Tail, uses the cover image. Cat in the Mist, uses that screwed up kind of text that you see on a lot of posts that are trying to make reference to old god stuff. And as you can clearly see, it says meow. There's 3 of those. Scratching Paws, uses the ghouls under the floorboard images, but cat paws, it's so adorable. Meowsks of Meowlathotep. Nothing to relate that to. Stubborn Cat. I can't remember what that uses, but I think it's bad luck. Mischief and Chaos. And Gaze of the Ceiling Cat, using a Similar image to that of a Mystic card that I can't remember the name of. I think it's the one that's Sealing of the Seventh Sign or something like that. It's either that or it's the don't pull a token, it's automatically the Elder Sign. So that was pretty long, but I wanted to go over these in a little bit more detail than I normally do. But that's everything. So it's the standard amount of cards that you have in usually one of the 2 starting scenarios of a campaign for encounter cards and player cards. Like, these seem very similar. I don't know how many's in here. My guess is 60 as per usual. But I just wanted to point out from checking that even the barcode's a dog treat with dogs on it and everything in a house, like, on top of it. Like, this is just so adorable. I would love to see more of this, even if it's just print and play official versions, like the alternate reality cards or whatever they are for Daisy and Skids. Again, please, FFG, do a second print run, even if you've got to raise the price or something. This is not something that should be limited. I understand it was a joke, but you shouldn't have printed it then. But that's my personal opinion. Regardless, that's everything in this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press that like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this, feel free to share this video. Either way, I'll hope this video gets seen more. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press the dislike button. I won't mind, but please leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, try not to dislike the video just because I don't like the fact that the cats are the enemies. In case you haven't noticed, I like cats more than dogs. I still like dogs. Also, feel free to comment in general, such as, would you like to see me go over this in detail? Would you like to hear a review about it? Would you like me to go over the card game in general in more detail? I've done a review for the core game, but I can also do it for other parts, or other Arkham File games. I have access to most of them already. If you'd like to see anything else I might do on this channel, such as other unboxing videos, my board game overviews, my painting videos, all 3 of which I try to do for the Arkham Files, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.